Hello, hello, hello. But we are surprising a bunch of you because we are in the studio audience together and I see some familiar faces. Let's just get started and we'll explain. All right, what is going on? You are watching and, of course, listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, where we are here every Wednesday night on the Crowdcast platform. This is episode 585. I am your host, Steve V. Sitting next to, in studio, Kodi, Maurice, Doggette. How the hell you doing?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me in your lovely home.
Absolutely. Kodi has some morning meetings and they are in the city, and we just figured this is easier, but it's kind of nice to be sitting next to you.
Right? It always is.
Yeah, exactly. And, I want to shout out to a listener, and we love it when you talk back to us and give us some feedback. And this one came from our good old Apple Podcast, and they said, a review. Informative, sexy, and fun. They write, thank you guys for always an interesting show. Love to hear news and your views on our community, either medical or sometimes salacious tea. Always welcome, and I always feel more informed. It's like catching up with friends, and wanted to mention something so endearing to hear that makes this a genuine fun listen. Sometimes you hear Kodi trying to hold back a giggle about the topic or the next comment he's about to say. Adorable, really, but always makes my ears perk up thinking, oh, is this going to be good? Thank you all. And we thank you as well. And we really like it when you give us feedback, especially on Apple Podcasts, because it helps us rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and helps us do well on that platform, which is the largest platform next to Spotify where you can find us. Also, on this day, I wanted to shout out to our Patreon community because on August 15th, Kodi and I will be live. And when I say live, Kodi's going to be singing new material, including his brand new song, Talk About It, and another new song, plus 2 covers. Are you working on the material?
I am getting it all together. I cannot wait to perform for you all. I'm nervous, actually. Can you believe it? I am. And I think that it's the more I practice and the more I get it in everything down to a science and in the repetition in my bones, then I think everything would be better. But right now I'm getting it all together and I can't wait, but I'm a little nervous.
I would be nervous too. I mean, it's going to be a fun night because in addition to 4 songs that Kodi will be singing, we will also be sharing stories that you don't hear on tags, private stories about our sex, about our sexuality, maybe some early stories. We're going through some of the archives and things we don't have time to always get into. We're not doing hot topics on this show. It's going to be strictly the hosts and, of course, the music of Kodi Maurice, which I'm really excited about. And so the way to get involved is to grab a tier. And when you do, you're supporting tags, and there's 3 tiers you can choose from. It's all laid out really nicely packaged up for you, like a nice present for you, because I say that because you get extra special sexy perks. And some of those perks have already started going out this week. And I'm talking about commercial free, where you don't have to hear those annoying commercials. We're also getting things like the first ever extra bonus episode just went out. Topics that didn't make it onto the last several months of tags are on this one episode, and you can get one every single month. And then tomorrow I'll be reactivating our Discord channel, and that's where you can talk to us during the week and you can weigh in on hot topics. You can ask us questions, and it's a Discord platform. It's kind of one of those platforms that you can just kind of keep active with the hosts, and we will be on there. So all of this is when you grab a tier, you get the free live stream on August 15th at 9 p.m. It's a Thursday, and go to patreon.com/tags podcast. That's patreon.com/tags podcast. And I should mention that even if you don't want to grab a tier, go over there anyways, because we are putting up free content now that you won't get on our social media. We just did a behind the scenes right before this show, giving you a little insight on how we prepare for our show, especially when we're in studio together. But we have some birthday shout outs that we did over the weekend on Reese Beach here in Queens. And also for Kodi's birthday, we saw some drag, and there's going to be behind the scenes stuff you're not going to get anywhere unless you go to our patreon.com/tags podcast. And that is just free. So just get the free content. And then if you want, go ahead and grab a tier. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate you supporting Tags and our 7-year anniversary. Let's get into some hot topics. Are you ready, Kodi?
I'm ready. I can't wait. They're juicy.
Exactly. Well, we're starting off with Troye Sivan, somebody we've talked a lot about on this show before. And Troye is currently on tour. He got a Grammy earlier this year, and he is really turning some heads in the concert because of his slutty tour outfits. And if you see a lot of it, he's wearing chaps, his ass is out. He's got a bustier tank top done none other than Gautier, and he's doing a lap dance for another guy on tour. Who does this remind you of, Kodi, when you hear this?
Oh, always Madonna, honey. The queen is mothering, and clearly the children are listening, darling.
Exactly. He's got fashion also by Helmut Lang, Alexander McQueen, Rabanne bodysuits, leather chaps, custom jock straps, and even, like I said, Gautier black bustier that, of course, is reminiscent of Madonna. I think that the number that he's on one of those cabaret chairs and he is performing with another dancer is a la Janet Jackson. People have also said Christina Aguilera with the chaps when she had her concert back in the day. I do see all of these reminiscent. If a lot of this is due to his tour manager that actually has pushed him to be sexy. This is a sexy tour, he said, the tour manager, and he said you need to show this in your whole repertoire. And thank goodness Troye has really gone full force. It is reminiscent of those, but it's also his own. And I think the music is definitely all Troye. And Kodi, he's going to be performing with Charlie XCX here in America in September, and it's called the Sweat Tour. This is preceding when he goes back to Australia for the Something to Give Each Other tour, which he's been currently on in Europe. But when you see all this, what he's wearing, what he's doing, I think he's on a roll. And of course, Brat Summer, he's paired up with Charlie XCX.
It could only get better from here. This Brat will take him into the stratosphere. Yeah. Charlie XCX, it's going to be amazing. I love it when a young gay explores their sexuality and leans into their sexiness, because us as young gay people, we have to learn that we are sexy and that our sexuality is valid. We're doing a lot of learning when we're in adolescence. So I feel like when we are in our 20s and early 30s is when we start to really feel ourselves. So I'm glad he's out here doing it. He's learning from the best, Miss Janet, Miss Madonna, and Christina Aguilera too. I actually have some bodysuits that I'm thinking about wearing when I perform. So watch out for that, world, because I'm definitely going to go the sexy route as well, because why not, honey? Okay.
Absolutely. And the kids are showing you how to do it. And you wore your birthday suit on your birthday that was scantily clad. So I have no doubt you'll be doing it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we are in front of a live virtual audience. I see some of you. Hello, Doug. Hello, Durand. Hello, James. Hi there from Chicago. Love it. And keep coming in and giving us your comments and weighing in. There was a little bit of controversy recently, not really, and it had to do with Troye Sivan and Omar Apollo. I'm a huge Omar fan. I'm also really like the Troy album that came out last year. And what was the controversy? It wasn't really even between them, it was their fans. When a lot of Troy fans thought that Omar was throwing some shade to Troy. If you remember, the Rush singer had a bottle of poppers on his cover that he was essentially doing, right, for the Rush video. And Omar actually after that posted a picture of a song he had which was all about doing poppers, that was a lot more explicit back in the day when it came out. God Said No. Oh, excuse me. The song that he did also what had to do with poppers too, and so he put a picture of himself doing poppers. Well, a lot of Troy's fans thought, "Ooh, is Apollo throwing some shade, like I did this before you?" Well, Omar was quick to clear it up last Friday when he says, "The fact that you all think I have beef with Troy is hilarious. He met my dad and I met his mom at the last show we played together. Very sweet woman. I get it though. Negativity is appealing. I expect nothing less on this app," meaning Twitter. "He's always been a great friend." I mean, they're I think there is no beef between these two, but it's kind of fun to think that now that we are seeing more and more out and proud gay artists that there's could be some potential beef. I mean, who doesn't remember Madonna and Cyndi Lauper back in the day, or Britney and Christina Aguilera on who is the greater pop star of the time, or dare we say Mandy Moore, who was also thrown into the mix at one point, who, by the way, is a very successful actress. I want to put that out there. I just saw her on this amazing series the other day, and we were just like, she is a great actress. But what do you think about them, the internet pitting artists against each other?
Well, what about Brandy and Monica too? They did The Girl Is Mine. So, I mean, that is iconic as well. But I also think that, first of all, we have to look at Omar Apollo's tweet, because he said a very sweet woman, but he could have been referring to Troye Sivan. So that's even more shade. I want to put that conspiracy theory out there as well. But I don't think that there's any bad blood between them. I think that Omar Apollo is very mature, and which, I'm not into that right now, because Steve made my reality TV addiction come back. So now I'm ready for the girls to fight, but I don't think that's going to be an issue here. I think that they're totally fine. And I was listening to a podcast earlier today, actually, and the two queens that were on there, drag queens, Bob the Drag Queen and Mistress Isabel Brooks, they were discussing how the fans can make a beef that's not really a beef so much more. So I think that the fans need to chill, let people be people. If they have a beef, then they're going to work it out on their own. We don't need to get involved. That's their business.
I like it. And this one seemed rather harmless. And by the way, it was all about poppers, which I think is hilarious too. So come on now. But, I love a little tea like that. Malibu watching us live says, if rappers can have beef, so can us gays. And we're thinking, I mean, the recent one was just crazy with
Kendrick Lamar
and
Drake, and J. Cole, I think, was a little bit in it too.
But really the former two were the ones that were really, at odds. But we love it. And
that was juicy. More of that in the gay world.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to some more salacious tea. And I don't really watch this show, Love Island. Do you watch it, Kodi?
So a friend of mine was on Love Island, Cache, and she's amazing, but yeah, she had a good run on Love Island.
Okay, well, Love Island USA's Kendall has had to clap back at the homophobic hate he got after his explicit video was leaked. So a little background story on this show is when you go on one of these shows, you turn in your phone and you have no access to it. Well, during the time that he was actually on the show, a video was leaked of him in a really compromised position. I showed you in our meeting earlier today. And it's essentially, you're wondering, where does the homophobia come in? Well, it had to do with the fact that he was showing and spreading his ass cheeks. So, when you get on the end of a bed and maybe you're looking in a mirror behind you and you spread your ass cheeks or you look like you're ready to get pounded. That's kind of what it looked like. He had a beautiful ass, I must say, and it looked delicious. Well, it was leaked, and it happened on the same night as the season 6 finale, which was just Sunday, July 21st, and ignited controversy even more since Kendall was a finalist in the popular reality dating show. Well, like we said, it was showing his ass. Well, a lot of people came for him and homophobics because it was like, what? You're showing your ass? And I'm assuming he's straight or on the show. And that's why it caused a little bit of controversy. But a lot of people were quick to point out that, hey, everybody loves ass play. A lot of people, and more people should. I mean, but seriously, by Dr. Goldstein, he makes the claim that everybody should, if you're not really getting acquainted with that region and the pleasures that you can have, then you're only getting half the story. So Kendall actually had to clap back, but his sister actually came on and said, since he didn't have his phone earlier enough, she really said, this is really salacious, and I hope that he doesn't have any mental health issues for putting this out there on blast like that. It's just really wrong. When you heard this, though, what did you think about Kendall? And what do you think about the whole idea that, when you send pictures, it's going to get out there, and it's the more famous you are, the more likely it is that it's going to get out there?
So my first thought was, I hope he's at least bisexual, because I think he's super cute. But after that, then I said that this is it's a horrible situation, especially for Kendall, because having revenge porn taken against you is definitely debilitating mentally. And I understand that, maybe it's something that he sent to somebody that he trusts, and to feel like you thought that you could trust someone, and for that not to be true, that must be something hard to deal with. So I hope that he's okay. And I'm really sad that this came out for him, and I hope that whoever released it has some repercussions for them. Personally, I have had people request things of me that I wasn't comfortable with, and I just did not send it. I've never actually had spread my ass cheeks out like that before on a video, though. So I am wondering what the request was, what this person actually said they wanted in a video, because I need to know. I need it for my resume for when I send my requests out.
I mean, I have actually done that for sure. Well, yeah. I mean, I do have OnlyFans just for fans, by the way. And I've had somebody recently ask me on Facebook, of all places, to send me, they were all interested and wanted to see more pictures. And I was like, just go to my Twitter account where you can see it all. We were talking about this in our meeting. I don't like the idea, I'm not really an app person. I've said it before. I don't like the idea of sending pictures. And usually when I was on the apps back in the day, I had pictures in my private that I could just open up for you. The idea that you have to send more pictures and pictures so that they live on other people's phones. I'm not saying that people can't find this or you could screen capture, but a lot of apps nowadays really block that whole concept or notify you if you do that. And I don't like this idea of going back and forth sending pictures. It's 9 times out of 10 in my experience, people don't meet up with you in the end. It's just, they just want to ask you for those pictures. They want to collect them. Who knows what they're doing with them? This is how stuff gets out there. And I'm not saying that it can't get out there like what I'm doing, but I'm not a TV show like that. So I don't like that idea of sending pictures like that. It's never sat well with me.
Well, personally, I really enjoy sending out pictures and receiving pictures, but I have to agree with you that the people that do that, including myself, so most of the time they don't even really want to meet up. They just want to have those pictures and get that rush from receiving a picture. So I've been there before. I do meet up sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't work out that I get out there and I meet up with somebody. So I understand both sides. I think that if somebody releases that type of information out into the world for everybody to see, then they deserve whatever repercussions come their way, because it's just vile and awful.
Yeah. I say that, and I recently just sent pictures to my boyfriend, and he sent it to me. But hey, we're in, a relationship, so yeah, exactly. But let us know how you weigh in Are you a fan of sending pictures back and forth when they ask for them, or do you just send them to your app and or to the actual app and say, just look at those? That should be good enough. And by the way, can't we just meet? All right. Well, yeah, absolutely.
If y'all have some pictures that you want to send out there that you are burning up your phone, just send them my way, okay? All right. I'm on Instagram, Mr. Maurice.
We'll give that again at the end of the show. Okay. Well, we've got to talk about Grindr, and we've got to talk about the Olympics, because apparently Grindr is being blocked in the Paris Olympic Athletes Village. What, you say? Well, the decision to block Grindr in the Olympic Village would be essentially to prevent LGBTQ athletes from being outed. And at first thought, you would think, God, this seems awful that you couldn't really, you couldn't really access Grindr, right, Kodi? Okay. But this all stems back in Rio in 2016, when a reporter by the name of Nico Hines from the Daily Beast decided to write what they thought was a fun clickbait story from the Olympic Village in Rio. And the article was named, "I got 3 Grindr dates in an hour at the Olympic Village," read the headline. This turned out to be one of the top articles for Daily Beast ever and stopped the presses. Well, the article had one major issue. It gave enough identifying information to out some gay athletes, including, because the Olympics are everywhere, including people who live in countries where being gay is a crime. And the Daily Beast revised the initial story, and they tried to remove a lot of this, but it took a whole 24 hours to get it out. And by that point, a lot of people's information was already out there. And so from that point on, Grindr decided, which I do think is proactive on their part, just not allowing it in there. And we were talking again in our meeting where I said, if you're a hot Olympian who made it to the Olympics and you're in this Olympic Village, Kodi, do you really need Grindr? I mean, just go out there and mingle and flirt, because you're a hot athlete who looks probably the way you look. There's a hot athlete. There's a hot athlete. There's a hot athlete. I'm thinking you don't really need an app for this. Just get out there and talk to people. And it's just like the best of Adonis. I mean, what do you say?
Oh, yeah. Go out there, meet people, and take them back to your cardboard bed. I actually saw Tom Daly testing out.
Remind people what you can't say that without saying.
Oh, sorry. Yes. So at the Olympic Village, for the actual Olympians, they have these cardboard beds that are actually very sturdy. There's a mattress on top of it. Tom Daly is doing an entire demonstration of how sturdy they are, but they're cardboard, and it's just kind of mind-blowing. And I think that it's hilarious. He's jumping on the bed. He's on all fours on the bed. So just go watch it for that if you really want to, because he's super sexy. As far as the Grindr goes, I do think that this is another story where after hearing the context of the story and why they did what they did, I completely revised my opinion of the whole thing. Because at first I was like, let these queens have their Grindr. They are trying to live their best life. They're here. They need to probably de-stress a little bit. Let them have Grindr so they can go and connect with one another. But upon hearing the context and the reason why, exactly, it really became apparent to me that a lot of these people that are there at the Olympics, they might not live in a country where it's safe to be gay. And for them to have their personal information, just like in the last story, released could be detrimental to them. So I completely understand. I'm glad that Grindr is fighting the good fight and doing the right thing as far as it's concerned. And yeah, have fun on those cardboard beds, boys and girls.
Yeah, I mean, we were reporting on a diver the other day that said he compared diving to flirting, and that's how it ignited a whole conversation on how do you flirt. And you're either a good diver, he was saying, or you do a belly flop, is what he did in his story, his Instagram story, which I thought was a really good analogy. Yeah. And I think I'm not worried about these Olympians. There's nothing to be said if Tinder and if Scruff and if sniffies are going to be blocked on those apps, which essentially could also out. I guess Grindr, they're always in the hot seat. They're always the ones being, the ones we're coming after. And they're probably like, we are just like avoiding all of this. And at least we'll be the one that is trying to be proactive and respecting the safety of our Olympians.
Yeah, well, not for nothing, but they are the ones that are leading the pack because they are the most popular. They are what everyone thinks of when they think of a gay dating app. They're the sound that it makes when you get a Grindr message. Everybody knows it. So I think that there's a reason why they are doing the right thing and that they are in the forefront of everybody's mind as far as this is concerned.
I'm excited about the Olympics. So is Alan watching this, says the Olympics. I'm Team Tom Daly, 100%. Yep, that's going to be a good one. Simone Biles, come on. You got to, yes, I'm excited about that. And apparently the opening ceremonies are supposed to be great. Lady Gaga and as well as Celine Dion is supposed to be performing. So Friday night, you don't want to miss it. I will be watching and checking that out. Okay, let's move on to something that Kodi and I are going to watch after this show, since you're spending the night tonight and we thought we'd have slumber party sleepover. There is a dark new Netflix documentary that really caught my attention called Tickled. Like I said, it's on Netflix, the darker side of competitive endurance tickling. And in a vibrant world of LGBTQ plus entertainment, few documentaries have sparked as much intrigue and conversation as Tickled. And it was originally released in 2016, but the jaw-dropping film is now streaming. It peels back the layers of an eccentric fetish that reveals labyrinth of power, exploitation, and deception. And if you guys all know those films that you've seen of guys being tickled and it all seems fun at first, but they're strapped to a table, and sometimes I think they're feet fetish, but sometimes they're tickled in general, armpits everywhere, and they kind of go really far with it. Well, apparently there's an underbelly to this whole side of it where guys were promised inwards of $2,000 to perform, and then it actually got out there and apparently it's spread and you can't get these videos off, and it just sounds really dark, and I'm here for it because I want to see it. I mean, have you seen these videos around when you're scrolling around on the porn sites, and did you know anything about this?
Oh my gosh, I don't watch porn, darling.
Yeah, right.
I know, right? Yeah, I have seen them before. I think that they are. I've never watched one, honestly. So, but I want to give it I want to look at it unless it's something. We're gonna watch this documentary last night. If it's something that is debilitating to maybe that person's mental health, I don't want to watch it. But we're gonna find out all the answers. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around it being something that tickling does not equate to, emotional distress or trauma or anything like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it really takes a dark turn. So I can't wait to watch the documentary. Hope you all watch it. And yeah, I would, if they're offering $2,000, sign me up. I'm not even ticklish, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, I am ticklish. I know somebody watching us live here tonight who's a little ticklish too. And anyways, yeah, I don't know. It sounds really dark, but I just love all this content that's out there. There's really great summer reading right now. There's great shows to watch. If you listen to episode 584, we talk about a couple shows that you should be listening to or should pique your interest. One of them has to do with OnlyFans, and so there's a lot of good stuff up there, so check it out. Okay, well, we want to continue and give you an update of Austin Wolf. If you remember, on June 28th, prior to Pride weekend, at least in San Francisco and New York, Wolf was indicted, actually on child pornography, distributing it and having it on a hard drive, an SD drive. Well, what's the latest since then? He was supposed to go into court on July 29th, the hearing, and it's been actually moved to August 28th, a whole month later. And Wolf's defense team didn't object to the government's request for the continuance. So when Wolf was arrested on June 28th, he was charged by complaint, which is a first step in a federal prosecution. The next step would be for a grand jury indictment within 30 days. And, you would think that the Department of Justice would have already had that ready to go, and they would have already on July 29th, they would be ready to really have this court case and charge him and sentence him. What does this maybe mean? Well, there's a lot of speculation that he might be asking for a plea deal, meaning he would be giving up a lot of his contacts of who he like essentially maybe he's giving up all these names of people that were involved in the child pornography, and the prosecutors are like, okay, well, give us one more month to investigate this, and then we'll come in. And of course, if it's a plea deal, Austin could maybe get the minimum, which is 5 years, versus the maximum if he had just gone into court this month, which would be up to 20 years. And I would think, because of the name that he is, that they would actually want to give him that 20 years. But if he has a plea deal, he could maybe get a lighter sentence. And it doesn't mean that he's not guilty of anything. I bet he's not even thinking about his image right now. He's just trying to get the lightest sentence he can get. It's crazy. This is where we're at with it. But when you hear this, I mean, what did you think? That it's now being delayed, and could there be a plea deal?
Well, that's what it seems like to me, honestly. And I've watched a lot of SVU and How to Get Away with Murder. So I must be an aficionado right here. I must be a complete professional when it comes to that. But it does look like that. So I think that as long as more people are indicted for this, because this is truly horrible, I see the plus side of it. He definitely, in my heart and soul, I feel like he has to do some time in order for it to be okay. For me personally, I'm not worried about the rest of the world, but I'm saying that this is something that somebody should be punished for, definitely. And if he can help us get more people, then I think that is a good thing. So we can get more child pornography off of the sites and just out of the world, period.
Okay, we'll continue to report on that, but let's go from somebody that didn't do something as bad, but that is asking for forgiveness. And I'm talking about gospel singer Kim Burrell, who just got a huge award for the Aretha Franklin Award at the Stellar Music Awards in Las Vegas. It's a huge award to get, a prestigious award, obviously Aretha Franklin. The 51-year-old surprised many in the audience by using the opportunity to say she wishes to apologize to the LGBTQ plus community. Well, why? I didn't know about her. You knew about her, but here's what she said in the past, back in 2017. She's also a pastor, and she made headlines with a sermon she delivered at the Love and Liberty Fellowship Church in Houston, during which she said, anyone who engages in homosexual acts is perverted and has been deceived by the homosexual spirit. But she went on to warn those in attendance that those who play with homosexual sin would die from it. Well, that did not go over well, because she was then scheduled to be on the Ellen Show back in, again, I said 2017, and they actually canceled her appearance. She was also going to be on a radio show that was canceled. It also came after she was a guest vocalist on the Frank Ocean album Blonde on the track Godspeed. So we listened to her. I can post this on Tagspodcast, her apology on what she was saying. And as she got her award, she said she wanted to take this opportunity to acknowledge the LGBTQ plus community. And she said, can we give them a round of applause? Come on. We are God's children. It seemed performative. It didn't seem like she was really, yes, she didn't have to do this. clearly the Aretha Franklin Award and the members of this prestigious award still thought that she deserved this award. So she didn't really have to say anything. I think if she really was sorry, this wasn't the moment to do it. I think she needs to show us in other ways. But what did you think?
I think Kim Burrell is a gutted, rotted bitch. No. Honestly, do. She I had to Google it just now. Her comments on the LGBTQ plus community are just trash, and she is trash. And I think it's more indicated because there was a video that came out, I think, earlier this year of her singing in church, and somebody was singing along with her. Yeah. And she told them to shut up, stop singing in church while I'm singing. That is the most narcissistic, that is the most just completely inappropriate thing that you can do to another human being in church, as far as I'm concerned. I just think that she is not a genuine person. And I agree that they deserve a second chance. They are allowed to grow and evolve. But I do think that she is doing this because it has affected her pocketbook. And at the end of the day, she wants to make more money. So I think that time will tell. The proof is in the pudding. If she puts in the work, I am here to forgive her, but I don't see it for her.
Yeah. Can we talk about Patti LuPone, who thinks that her church is the theater and has told people to shut up? And I'm not the biggest Patti LuPone fan.
So I think that that's a little bit different because people go to the
Church of Broadway.
The
Church of Theater.
They go to Broadway to hear somebody sing. In church, this is supposed to be a celebratory thing, and everybody's allowed to sing.
No, I agree. And it reminds me a little bit, we were talking in our meeting about Donna Summer back in the day. Donna Summer, as many of you know, was a huge the disco queen of all time. And there was a period, and especially it was really shown brilliantly in the musical, the Donna Summer musical, where there was a point where she grew up in the church and she went back to her church roots. She was kind of lost. She was going to commit suicide at one point, and she found the church. The church saved her. She made a silly, dumb comment that did not sit well with the gays at the time. In concert, she said, she was telling somebody in the audience, Adam, it's not Adam. It wasn't Adam and Steve. It was Adam and Eve. And she regretted that comment. It was a silly one-off comment, but the gays really persecuted her for years, and many didn't forgive her. She did a long time to really gain the gays' admiration back over the years, and I loved her in the end, and I think she really found it, but it took years and years for her to get it. One little award moment where this Kim Burrell is just saying, can we have an applause for the LGBTQ plus community, and thank you so much for this, doesn't at all compare to the Donna Summer legacy and one moment like that. So no thank you, ma'am.
I completely agree. I think that Donna Summer probably has people that she loves that are of the LGBTQ community when she was alive. Rest in peace, Donna Summer. I feel like Kim Burrell is the type of person, and I don't know the lady, but this is just a feeling that I get from her, that if you were in the LGBTQ plus community, she would just excommunicate you.
Yes, exactly.
So we'll see.
We will see. And Alan says, Austin Wolf, back to the story, is a disappointing story as it fuels the perception that gays are child molesters. And yes, I think we talked about that originally, and how sad that is, because even his career, he was such somebody that a lot of people looked up to, and on so many levels, and then it's disgusting what he's done. And so, his time will come in court and we'll have to see, but it doesn't look so good. Okay, let's move on to something that is sounding a little bit better, and I'm talking about Drag Race. The queens are on OnlyFans. Not all of them, but many of them have found another side to themselves when they're outside of drag. and RuPaul's Drag Race contestants have expanded their multimedia empire to OnlyFans. It's a great way for Drag Race alumni to earn some money, and especially during the pandemic, many of them found a lot that they can earn some coin. And I don't think it's a far stretch. I mean, I have my OnlyFans now and my Just for Fans now too. But I don't think it's a stretch for me because I've been in the sex progressive land for many years now. I'm the host and creator of a sex progressive podcast. So I don't think it's that odd that I've gone in this direction. I don't think it's that odd that drag queens that have been famous or had a moment on RuPaul's Drag Race have made their way over to this too, especially them, because it also shows that they can also show a different side of themselves, which I think is really good. Some of those stars that have been on there are Gothy Kendall from UK versus which one?
Drag Race UK season 1.
Thank you.
She was first out.
Milk of Drag Race season 6 and All Stars 3. I think I've seen some stuff from Milk. Pearl from Drag Race season 7. Yes. Tessa Testicle from season 1 from Drag Race Germany, so Global All Stars, who's very hot, I must say. These are just a few, but when you saw this, were you surprised? And what do you think of them, you know, when they're not in drag, to be in another form of entertainment?
No, I love it. I think that the girls, RuPaul said, you should have multiple streams of income, right? And I totally agree with her. I subscribe to that. And I think that if you can do it, then do it. I feel like a lot of these girls are beautiful. And like I said in a previous story about Troye Sivan, we as gay people, we are learning about our sexuality later in life. And we need, for me personally, I feel like we need to express our sexuality and feel that we are sexy in order for us to really grab a hold of our sexuality and drive it to the right way, and in order for us to be more complete human beings. But I think that's just a hurdle a lot of people are doing. So I feel like this is a great way to do it.
Yeah, it reminds me, I just saw an interesting interview with Trixie Mattel, who's taking a 3-month hiatus on drag. And in the interview, he says that he can't recall a time that he's been out of, like, he's been in drag more than he's been out of drag in his adult life since his 20s. And it's just become a roller coaster. And well, he's super successful. And the reason why he didn't want to stop, it's for his mental health and for his family and his relationships that he's actually taking this 3-month hiatus. But he knew that he was going to be letting down a lot of people because a lot of people rely on him and his show, and he hires a lot of people to work with him. And so it's this roller coaster that he's happy to be on, but now that he is on it, his mental health is suffering, and so he wants to take a break from it. I think if you did drag while you're an entertainer, a modern day clown, if you will, that you also want to express yourself in other ways too. And it could possibly seem like you're not a sexual being. Like, there's been plenty of drag queens and they'll come up and they're flirting with you and you're like, ha ha, hee hee, this is all fun. But you're not thinking of it in, oh, I want to go out with that person. At least a lot of us. There could be some people that would want to, and they're probably thinking on their end, I want to get this makeup off because I could have a chance with this person, but this is my job and this is what I do. So I think it's a perfect outlet for a lot of these queens to really separate themselves like 180 degrees the other direction, to be like, when I'm not in those heels, my legs are in the air, or my dick's out, and I think it's kind of fabulous and kind of like messes with a lot of people's audience members' minds in a good way. I'm here for it.
Oh, me too. And you bring up a very interesting point, because I feel like a lot of these girls, they live their lives as women so much. So they don't I feel like they don't get enough of a chance to feel their sexuality and being sexy as a man. So I think that that's a great point, Steve. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Alan says, side story, Morphine from Drag Race season 16 was in a serious car accident this week. Oh, no. I hope she is okay. And he also says that Trixie out of drag is kind of hot. Yeah, when I watched the interview and was like, ooh, there's Got Mick, I think, is hot as well as a trans man. And I'm kind of like, ooh, okay. And hot. Yeah. No, really.
Mick would take you. I feel like she would.
I got somebody, but anyway.
Maybe three-way going on.
Oh my gosh. Let's give some advice and get out of this conversation. I forgot this isn't working, this thing. Okay. Let's give some advice because we love to. And did you get a chance to look at some of these? Which one did you like more?
This one is very interesting. It's very long, but I mean, I'm down for it if you are.
Let's do it. The politics of gay cliques. I'll see if I can paraphrase this. This comes from a Redditor who was asking the question, hey, everyone, longtime lurker. I wanted to hear your thoughts about gay cliques. I have had a few nice gay friendships, but mostly when they are one-on-one. And to be honest, I have not ever been able to enter or even stay in a gay group of friends for various reasons, mostly because how toxic it gets. I particularly noticed that when being introduced to a gay clique, the friend of group acts very standoffish and closed. It happens to me in a few different ways. And they list a lot of the different ways that I won't go into, but you get the point where you get the cold shoulder when you're walking into it. I am a nice guy, conventionally attractive, not that it should matter, but I've been told I am charismatic and charming. So I have no clue of why I feel so ostracized by gay cliques. I've started noticing some of the politics, and there seems to be a queen bee all around its followers, a couple of twinks with a 10+ year age gap, a feeling that they are actually not that close. Well, anyway, I think they're going on to ask the question, how do we feel about gay cliques? And do you think they exist, Kodi?
Oh, definitely. They definitely exist. The mean girl gays, they're out there and they are running rampant and destroying hearts and minds out there. And, I personally don't aspire to be in those types of cliques. I feel like they are, I'm going to just say it, toxic a little bit. And I think that I think this person should feel a little bit of relief, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be in a group of people that are not really friendly. These people, generally speaking, have a high school, very immature mentality, as far as I'm concerned, from what I've seen. And you want to be in a more welcoming, supportive group. I feel like our friend group, we'll talk to anybody. We'll go out and we're there to have fun, and we're just there to live our best gay lives and make sure that people are supported and they feel loved. So I think that that's something that you should be looking into, looking to be with more people that are of a like mind and that are open and friendly.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny when you said Mean Girls early on. We were at your birthday beach at Reese Beach, and to find us, I got there early with a friend of mine, and there was, when you go to some of these gay beaches, there's people that get there early and they set up camp, if you will, and they've got the borders that they set up in a huge platform, and then they put up all the flags. And this particular group had American flags, LGBTQ plus flags, and they had Mean Girl flags. And what did I tell you when you were coming, when I told all the friends, because I was first, because I'm always early, that look for the Mean Girls flag? And I think it was just a tongue-in-cheek thing and an homage to no, I don't think so either. And I think it was really fun. It just reminded me of that. But cliques can be, I cleaned house several years ago with people that I just thought weren't maybe healthy for me. And I've never really been a big group person. I've always been more of a one-on-one person. So I feel for this person because I kind of relate to that. I tend to have a lot of really good friendships, but like one-on-one friendships. But in the last several years, because I did clean house, when I do get a group of friends together, it's always so lovely and everybody really is really getting along. And I know that sounds like, oh, really, Steve? And it's like, seriously,
true.
it really is true. You've been in some of these, yeah, it's never click like, and maybe it has to do with age. I don't know. But I just think hang in there. You don't have to just ignore those clicks that you come across. Develop those one-on-one strong friendships, and when you do, those ties are hard, to break, and then invite those friends together. You won't be a clique, but you will be a loving group of friendships. So yeah, no, I mean, I really mean that.
I do too, and I felt that, but I do
Yeah.
think it's important to bring up that, like, I totally agree with you. For us, when we went to the beach on the other day,
Yeah.
you brought a friend that I had never met before.
Yes.
Totally love them. Talk to them all the time on the beach, and it was fantastic. I enjoyed meeting them. Another one of my friends brought someone as well that we had never met. Well, I had met them, but you got to connect with them as well,
Yes.
and it was fantastic. That's what it's supposed to be all about. It's supposed to be about connecting with people and supporting people.
Absolutely. And great examples. And I think we have time for one more quick advice. And we will also put, can you put Thirst Trap into the mix so people can start figuring out who they picked this week? This next advice comes to somebody that is asking the question, I'm 18 years old and bi-curious. Is it bad that I only want to experiment with much older men like 50 plus? I don't think it's a bad thing for some of us 50-year-olds, but they said, I'm new to Reddit, but figured this might be the best place to get some honest feedback. I'm very much into girls and have been with two already. And I know I'm not gay, but for a few years now, I've had a big curiosity that won't go away about being with another guy sexually, but it's really specifically about being with much older men, like 50 and over. So this isn't really necessarily for our community, but it does bring up the notion that I know when I was younger and when I was 18, I knew a lot of older men, and some of them became some of my closest friends that I'm still friends with, and some of them I had some relations with. I think when you are younger and you're out there, you are a sponge, and you just need to be careful today, I think, a little bit more, because we didn't have cell phones when I was out and apps, but I still had to be careful myself. But I think it's exciting to align yourself with people that are older than you, because you can learn a lot sexually and you can learn a lot just about life. But I do think in this day and age, you need to share, get some close friends, and you need to share your location with people, because you don't want to be another number, you know?
I totally agree with you. I think that safety is paramount, first and foremost. I just want to say that. I think at 18, you're still exploring your sexuality. So you right now are of the mind that you were straight, and I think that's fantastic. But I think that there's something to explore as far as your attraction to older men. It could be that you are looking for a mentor or a father figure or something like that, but it could be something more sexual. So I say just go out there, be open, and be willing to explore and just accept whatever comes.
Yeah. I would just add one last thing is, don't be afraid of people around your age group as well, because that can be really important as well. Well, it's great to have older people that you're attracted to. You also need people within your age group as well. And even if they annoy you, I mean, it's probably a good balance to kind of keep a little bit of all age groups, in your repertoire.
That's right.
James, excuse me, back on the last topic about friendships and cliques, says, I left a big group 2 years ago. Now they are all fighting with each other. Ooh, that
reality show.
I know. I think you left it at the right time, James. Good for you. Yeah. If there's toxic friendships, get rid of them, because the more you hold on to those, the more you don't make room for healthy friendships. And they are out there. Trust me, they are people that really have your back and that care for you. So Absolutely. Okay, well, it's time for one of our favorite segments. It's produced by Straight Up Gay Porn, and they always are asking the question, who took the best photo of the week? A little backstory on this. It used to be video and photo. Do you remember those days, Cody?
I do. I miss them.
I sort of do, and I don't, because you had to play the video, and sometimes when we were preparing for this show, I only had time to look for the photos.
Yeah.
Well, the reason is Twitter doesn't allow them to embed anymore. So I think it's more of an even playing field now, that it's just pictures, because I think if you're trying to compare video and photo, they're two different mediums. So yeah. So let's go with what we have this week. They're asking the question, Thirst Trap Recap, which of these 16 gay porn stars, who took the best photo? And it's our job on a typically audio podcast to vividly describe why we picked the one we did. I'll post this on Tagspodcast.com. Just reference episode 585. Last week's winner, though, was the one you picked, Kodi, and he did so well, and I can see why. Axel is his name, correct?
Yeah. Gorgeous, and that penis is just to die for.
It is. He's delicious and yummy. And I'll go first. There was a really good pooling, I think, of dicks. If you're into feet, there was a good of feet. I think I have to go with Andre Milan, who I follow. There was another one that I was going to go for. Let me just see really quickly. Oh yeah.
It's all coming back to you now.
Andre Milan, yes, but I think I'm gonna go with Big Dick Fig.
Okay.
Because Big Dick Fig has a nice big huge dick, and he is on his back, and it's maybe not the most flattering. I mean, he's just looking into the camera, but he's got this blow up doll, if you will, that is boobs, a small waist, and like half of legs and a pussy, and his huge dick is inside this pussy. But I mean, I've started looking sometimes at straight porn, and
really?
This actually looks really hot to me. And I realized, because often I do a little bit of research beforehand, research on straight up gay porn, but or Thirst Trap, Big Dick Fig, turns out I follow him, and he often has some of these, crazy photos like that. This gets my pick of the week. Also, if you look at the boobs on that blow up doll or whatever, they're very perky, and
Taj Mahal.
it's very Taj Mahal. I know, he's fucking the Taj Mahal. Who do you pick and why?
Oh my goodness. All right, Big Dick Fig. So I chose. My choice for this week is Yes Broad. He is in what appears to be a sauna, and there's wood paneling behind him. He's completely naked.
Wood paneling.
I know, right? But it's very classy wood paneling. Sexy wood paneling. Yeah. Who doesn't love a nice sauna moment? In my mind, he's in a sauna, and he's beckoning me over to get on my knees and suck that big dick because it's delicious. He's looking directly into the camera like I am right now, and he's got all these tattoos and his
sleeve,
delicious cock, and he's super cute. And I follow him on Instagram. He is his posts are very like natural, or there's a naturist vibe to it. So I adore him. So kudos to you, Yes Braun.
Somebody watching us live says same like Kodi. Okay, that is funny. This over here, too funny. And it's Kodi with an I over there, Mister. So yes. Who else says people are Romeo and Rico? Says James. Romeo and Rico, what are they doing in there? Just so we can, I think I remember seeing them. Oh yeah. So we've got a little Latino poppy with some great tats, a mustache, a nice stick, and then Romeo and another Latino poppy, a little bit more. Nipple rings, really great abs, chest, They both have nice cocks. Are they a couple? I just wonder. Romeo and Rico. I like that. Ellen says, Andre Milon, hot hole, nice cock. Yeah, that was my other pick that I was going to go. And nice feet, too, I noticed. Doug says, Cayo Veron, bonus points for the background in the photo. Uh-oh. One of them had a really, dirty, like, which we always say on this show. Is this him? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is he in Greece? Where is he? In the pool in Greece? Yeah, that's a great one. One of them, let's just point out really quickly. One of them had like his laundry was all a mess on the bed. Watch, you'll get to it. And I'm less critical of all of my hosts. Okay. Aiden Masters. I love this one. I'm surprised you didn't see it because all of my co-hosts, it doesn't matter if it's Kodi, Jeremy, Lincoln, cannot stand a dirty room. And by dirty, I mean like clothes on the bed and, maybe it's just messy. And
he's a toxic top, and I am not approved for it. Take him off the list right now.
He didn't get your memo that clean your room. Anyway.
So the thing is, you don't even have to clean the room. All you have to do is move the mess from one side of the room to the other side of the room. And he can even do that.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, we want to thank all of you for watching us live, especially tonight when we were in the same studio. Hello to that. Cheers to you guys. It makes this show much more fun. So we are here every Wednesday night. Next week, we have a special guest who's going to be talking about how to keep it hard, longer, erector, as a doctor, so you don't want to miss that. You can follow my co-host. He is a life coach. Follow him on Instagram at KMD Coaching or his personal account at Mr. Maurice. Don't forget, August 15th, we have our live stream. It's a Thursday night at 9 p.m. And to get access to it, go ahead and grab a tier over on our Patreon page. You get extra special sexy perks like commercial free. And you get things like our brand new bonus episode every month and our Discord community where you can chat with us during the week, ask us questions, weigh in on hot topics. And that activates tomorrow. Go to patreon.com/Tagspodcast. And by the way, go there anyways, because even if you don't join, you can get access to our free content, stuff that you won't get anywhere. And it's all behind the scenes fun stuff. Patreon.com/Tagspodcast. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. Go to my Twitter account at Tagspodcast, where you get a preview of my Just for Fans or my OnlyFans and new content coming out tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. We thank you so much. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex. Thanks, guys.